Welcome to Community Partners Interview, where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Lilly Cereghini, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Beth Walters from L'Arche Antigonish. L'Arche Antigonish's mission is to make known the gifts of people with intellectual disabilities, revealed through mutually transforming relationships. Foster an environment and community that responds to the changing needs of their members. Encourage in their diverse cultures, working together towards a more human society. Thank you for joining us today, Beth.
Really happy to be here. Thank you, Lillian.
Beth, could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what inspired you to work at L'Arche?
Sure. I came to L'Arche. I grew up in Ontario, and I had lived in an intentional community in Ontario that we worked on a farm together. So this was in the 80s. And it was people with and without disabilities and people coming out of institutions, of prison institutions in the area, people with mental health issues. And so, we lived together, we ran this farm together. And while living there, I learned about this other community, L'Arche. They knew each other and got to know L'Arche through my time at the farm community. And when I decided to come to L'Arche, a friend of mine who knew L'Arche, he said, he saw me on the East Coast. So I ended up out in beautiful Atlantic Canada and here in Antigonish. And, I came for 1 year. I came for 1 year for an experience of, I really came for intentional community. The working with people with disabilities, it was part of it, but it was the community piece that I really was drawn to. And so that's more than 30 years ago that I came for that 1 year.
Wow, that's awesome. I really like the concept of intentional community living as well. I've actually looked around Ontario. How many do we have, kind of thing, right? And it seems like a very nice lifestyle. Well,
I feel fortunate to have found it. Yeah.
Absolutely. While doing my research, I saw that you have a couple of services that you offer. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Sure. We have here in Antigonish, we have 5 homes where people with and without disabilities live and share life together and support each other. We support someone in an independent apartment, and things are changing here in the province, so we're going to be changing our services as well. We run 3 activity programs where some who live in our homes, some who live with family or friends or independently come and spend time. One of those is really art-based. We also run a summer camp for kids for months of July and August. It's an 8-week summer camp. So that's ramping up as we're speaking. Those are the main services we offer.
Yeah, that would definitely have to get going now because it's finally not snowing anymore. Yay. Was it very bad out there this year?
We had a lot of snow, and it was good because we had a very dry summer, so hopefully it'll help our water tables. But I have to tell you, it was a tough summer if you're in a wheelchair to be in Nova Scotia or using a walker. It wasn't simple getting around.
No, I imagine. Are there any restrictions to the services at L'Arche at Antigonish, such as age, caregivers, or family members only, things of that nature?
The main criteria is that people have an intellectual disability. So if it's primarily physical or mental health, we have people who maybe have mental health needs or physical disabilities, but their primary support they need is intellectual disability. So that is one piece, a restriction. Other than that, as I said, we run a summer camp. I think that it's 6 is the youngest we would take. 6 or 8, I'm not sure. It might be 8. It's one or the other. I should know that. But age, we just celebrated one of our members' 80th birthday. For our staff, which we call assistants, we have from 18 to 77. So we don't have any of those. So we have people who come from all over the world, who come in and work here with us. So that adds another interesting and richness of diversity.
Read a little bit about L'Arche, and I actually did not know that L'Arche worked with minors in any capacities. So to hear that you've got the little kidlets on board for the fun stuff in the summer, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, there are a few other communities that do it as well. Um, kids isn't, our it wasn't where we started, but it was a call, right? Like that's what we try to do, respond to what the call is. And more than 20 years ago, families were like, we don't have a place for our kids, where they are finding a place of belonging and fun in the summer. And so they asked L'Arche if they would try and create something. And so that's how our summer camp became came into being. And like last summer, we had 6 new kids join. So I think there were close to 20 kids in all over the summer.
Very nice, very nice. I like to see the numbers going up.
Yep,
That's a good thing.
it is a good thing.
Without using any names, could you share a success story with me? What supports were put into place when someone asked for help?
Well, there's so many different, and it is, it's responding to the need. So what is it that we're hearing from people? What is it people are asking for? I think, um, recently a lot of energy has been put into paid employment for people. So many people had uh, placements in work placements, but they were seen as volunteer or a stipend, and really advocating when people are saying, I work too. How am I paid? And so, the local businesses have been great to respond to that, to really see the value of their workers and pay fair wages. So that's been a huge piece lately. Um, you know, it can be also as intimate as, a young person who really struggled to sit at table and share a meal with people. Um, and that but he loves people, and so really working over a long period of time to get him to a place that he can sit at table and join in that meal with his fellow members. um so it's got to be about the person and what they want and what they need. There's the success of someone wanting to live in a smaller environment, and us being able to open a house that was much smaller and much more independent at that time, where he could have that in a structure that didn't allow a lot of independence.
Absolutely. I definitely approve of that. The whole concept of individuation, looking at the individual as a person first, not as, oh, you have a set of disabilities first. The idea of individuation is that you look at the person first and analyze with them, not as consultant, but them at the helm. What's going on here? What can we do to help you? What can you do, moreover, to help us? And then we pay you for your value, because everyone has intrinsic value as well.
Certainly. And
So
sorry.
that's very important for disability cultures across the entire country. We are chronically underemployed.
And that individual piece, and you know it's that idea of, we put a lot of emphasis on relationships at L'Arche. Like when you talked about, when you were reading our mission, it's about those mutual relationships. And to to know the needs of people, and to really understand many people who communicate in so many diverse ways. It takes time, and it takes a relationship to be built. And so that emphasis on relationship, uh, I think, really helps us get at the individual, um, and knowing each other, and being able to see that. And like, I'm going to talk to my friends differently than I'm going to talk to others. And so my friends can help me in a different way, and then I can get the professional supports I need. So it's exciting to see uh, people make these choices, and you know be fully autonomous human beings, um, but also recognizing our need of one another. And not just that a person with a disability needs help, but I need the help of the person with a disability. It's that
You too. We
mutuality
all
is
do.
so important. Yeah, our society needs it.
Mutuality. I adore that concept because there's the whole nowadays neoliberal idea of the person first language. It's person with the disability. No, number one, comes down to individual preference. I don't care if you call me blind. I don't care if you call me a disabled person. Treat me as a human being with autonomous agency. That's important.
That's that is so important. And relationships, focusing on that, it helps us get to know each other. And then I see where you want to grow, and you see where I want to grow, and you help me get there. And I have to say, my friends who have a disability are often the most honest friends I have. They're the first ones who are going to say, "You're cranky today." you know and it's wonderful because I need to be reminded of that, and I need them in my life to help me remind me of those things and
But
how I am
and
in
I
the
mean
world.
it does foster a relationship between people. Honesty is the best policy.
Certainly is. You don't
No,
always like it.
absolutely not.
You don't like to be
Hmm.
reminded I'm
But friends
cranky,
helping
but it's
friends.
important.
Are there any events coming up for L'Arche Antigonish?
Yeah, we're just about to start I think it's our fifth annual online auction. So I think there are 32 items that are there, a variety of things, um, hammocks, passes to the Riverside Speedway. There's a racetrack outside of town. So just all the ways local people have offered goods and services. So I think that will go live on our Facebook and Instagram on the 25th. So that's coming up. Summer is vacation time, so we have a little less in the summer, but then we have our fun run in the fall. So we have a 5K run, walk, roll, however you want to do it, that we do together. So, but the silent auction I mean, the online auction is coming up right away.
Nice. Do you guys usually get a lot of traffic with that?
We do. It's been growing year on year. Um, yeah. So uh, I don't have any stats for you, but I know it's a big part of helping us have the things in our community that aren't covered under the basic needs of
Mm.
living. You know, um, we know the cost of food. We know all those things that, the price of gas. You know, if you're someone who doesn't walk well and you need transportation, gas isn't cheap. So, we are always raising money to offset those costs and help people have a good life.
Absolutely, because even the cost of necessities now is exorbitant, but we want to have actual lives. We don't want to be
Yes.
not literally, but tied to our homes constantly.
No, and we know those things take
Mm.
money, and we know, you know, that that's not what's being funded.
Yeah.
And basic, they're not always, even basics isn't always being funded. So we fundraise for food too, we're trying to meet all the needs that we can.
For sure. And I mean, us having social lives is really important. The sun is coming out. Let's go. Let's go for a walk. Let's go to a festival, that kind of thing.
It is so important. And there's lots that happens on the East Coast. There's a rich culture here of music and community, and like we are well known in our community. The arts, we're well known in the arts community, and so as the festivals come up, it's exciting to be a part of them.
100%. My favorite artist is from Wollastoke Nation in New Brunswick. Yeah.
Okay.
All
Ah,
right.
yes.
So, okay, this question is a biggie. What is the one thing that you see happening over and over again to individuals with disabilities that should not be? And how do you think we stop it?
Well, that is a big question. I think what I see happens over and over is that people's autonomy gets eroded, that, there is the time isn't taken to really listen to people. Our hurried culture uh, tries to make things go faster than many of our people can manage. And so more autonomy is taken away. Um, you know, I think we're always fighting against that. Uh, and it's always with the best of intentions, wanting to help people, right? Wanting to do good. But I think we always have to watch for that. I think we have to let people make bad decisions. I make lots of bad decisions in my life. No one's telling me I can't, you know. So, and how do we get at it? I think it's a constant check. It's a constant check and giving, helping people have a voice to say, no, I get to decide that. And I think, right now, L'Arche Atlantic has been really working on it's called Voice and Choice, and then really trying to empower people to, you know, find their own voice in new ways. And I think that, you know, we always have to fight against the eroding people's autonomy with the best of intention.
But that urge to step in and be, are you safe? Are you going to do it properly? Is it going to work out? But one of the greatest works of philosophy I ever read said that a leader should be the person to step back and leave the people alone. Let them do it themselves.
And I think it is a really important thing. And it allows people to succeed. And, but I've also know the things that I failed at are the things I've learned the most in. And so, it's not that you want to see people hurt, or anything like that. Safety is important, all those things. But where is the room for learning and making a choice and living with the consequences and supporting people through those consequences?
I mean, if I see
whether they're great or bad, like it can be that, one of our members got his own art show, that's great. But he had to risk to put his art out there.
I mean, if I see that you're about to get hit by a car, yes, I am going to pull you back, obviously. But being allowed to fail is actually very important. In our culture, we treat failure as poison, as, this horrible, catastrophic thing. But everybody fails all the time, actually.
All the time. And as I say, it's often where we learn the most.
Absolutely.
And so, as in Nova Scotia, things are changing a lot. I don't know if you know much about the human rights remedy and what's happening here, but it is a time of change where I'm really hoping people will have choices they never had before. So, I have some hope that this idea of choice and autonomy will become stronger in people.
Last I read, but this is with Indigenous issues, but last I read, Mi'kmaq was made one of the official languages of Nova Scotia. And I'm like, yes, King. Because it's one of the biggest nations in Canada.
It is, yep.
That's important. And I mean, it's comparable to disability rights because institutionalization was a really big problem for our communities as well.
I remember years ago, maybe about I'm not sure. Might have been just before the pandemic. We had a group come through the Governor General's leadership program. About 15 people came, and there was one of our members was, we were talking a little bit about institutionalization, and there were two chiefs from out west that were part of the group. And just to see the connection after all the talking was done and people were visiting, the connection between the chiefs and how they responded to some of our members who had lived the institutionalization was one of the most touching moments I've ever experienced. To watch the care, the understanding that happened there.
Absolutely. It's a form of cross-cultural understanding, I would say, really.
Yes, yeah.
If someone wanted to become a member or a volunteer with L'Arche Antigonish, what is the process for joining as a member or as a volunteer?
Well, there is on our webpage, l'archeantigonish.ca, ways to get involved. So there's places to reach out and do that. That's the best way to do it. To reach out that way. If you're in the area and we're at an event, please come up to us. We love to talk to people and tell you about us, and we can guide you in the right way. But our website really is a good way to find us for those things.
Excellent. So what is the one thing that everybody really needs to know about L'Arche?
What's the one thing that everybody needs to know about L'Arche? That fostering vibrant communities, whether our little L'Arche Antigonish community, Antigonish, the Maritimes, we need each other. We need all types of people We need all kinds of ways of being in the world, and an acceptance of diversity and a celebration of diversity. I guess it's that diversity needs to be celebrated, not just accommodated, known and understood, but really celebrated.
Absolutely.
We like a good party at L'Arche.
I'm sitting here applauding your comment because I couldn't be more on board. I love that. I love that. Just for one last question, if anyone is looking for more information about L'Arche Antigonish, where can they go to find it?
I think our website, l'archeantigonish.ca, would be the best place to go. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, but for information and getting in touch with us, that is a good place to start, our website.
Perfect. Thank you so much for interviewing with us today.
Thank you, Lillian. It was a delight. I was a little nervous. Haven't done a podcast like this before, so you made me feel very comfortable. So thank you.
No, you're a great speaker. Absolutely. Nice vibe. Nice vibe. It's very chill. We like the atmosphere.
Chill is good.
All right. Thank you so much. You've been listening to a Community Partners interview on Voices for Ability Radio. I'm your host, Lilly Cereghini. And remember, folks, stick together because we are all in this together.